Imagine you're dieting, your face leans out, your arms look tighter, but your belly fat barely changes. You can lose 3 to 5 pounds in the first week, mostly water and glycogen, yet your waistline stays exactly the same, making you feel like nothing's working. The truth is, belly fat responds slower than any other area because it's more hormonally driven and less metabolically active. When you cut calories, your body doesn't burn fat right away. It spends the first several days stabilizing blood sugar, lowering insulin, and adjusting to the new energy gap. During this phase, your belly is the last place your body wants to tap into. So the real question becomes, how long do you have to stay consistent before your body finally starts burning belly fat? Belly fat doesn't just sit there. Over time, it quietly disrupts insulin sensitivity and raises cortisol, creating a deeper metabolic slowdown. Doctors call this pattern abdominal resistance, a stage where your body protects fat instead of releasing it. You feel it through stubborn weight, random energy crashes, and cravings that show up even when you eat less. But there is a turning point once your body senses consistency. So let's break down what actually happens in those first days and the weeks that follow. What actually happens to your belly fat in the first month? The first 4 weeks of dieting are basically your body trying to figure out what on earth you're doing. It's like your metabolism is sitting there with a clipboard saying, "Is this serious? Or is this another one of those 2-day attempts?" And depending on the answer, your belly fat either stays locked in place or finally starts getting nervous. Week 1, the glycogen drama. During the first week, your body doesn't burn belly fat. Not even a little. Instead, it burns glycogen, your quick excessive carb storage that lives in your liver and muscles. According to the National Institutes of Health, you can store about 500 grams of glycogen, and each gram holds roughly 3 grams of water. That's why you lose weight fast in week 1 up to 3-5 pounds, but your waistline looks exactly the same. People usually feel hungrier, crankier, and slightly betrayed. Your brain loves glucose, and when it senses the supply dropping, it acts like a toddler losing Wi-Fi. This is all normal. Your body is checking whether the calorie deficit is real or just emotional damage from watching fitness influencers on Instagram. This week is about stabilization. If you stay consistent, insulin begins to dip slightly, which is step 1 in unlocking future fat burning. Not today, though. Today is just preparation. Week 2. The plateau that isn't actually a plateau phase. Week 2 is where many people panic. The scale stops dropping, cravings spike, and your motivation starts bargaining like a hostage negotiator. But science says this stage is completely predictable. Harvard research shows that even modest calorie deficits trigger adaptive thermogenesis, meaning your metabolism slows down temporarily while it figures out what's happening. Your hunger hormones get louder, ghrelin increases, leptin decreases, and your body reduces NEAT, the calories you burn from fidgeting, walking around, and living your life. You feel like you're fighting your own biology because, honestly, you are. But here's the twist. This stall is the green light, not the red one. Your body is transitioning away from glucose dependence and preparing to finally tap into fat stores. Think of week 2 as your metabolism saying, "Fine, I guess we're doing this." Week 3, the first real fat-burning signals. Week 3 is where the magic starts, slowly but definitely. Your body becomes more metabolically flexible, meaning it can switch between burning glucose and burning fat without throwing a tantrum. Research on intermittent fasting and calorie restriction shows that mild ketone production begins even in non-keto diets by week 3, making your energy more stable and reducing cravings. You may notice your mood improving, mental fog lifting, and hunger becoming less chaotic. But belly fat still isn't moving dramatically yet. Why? Because your body is focusing on visceral fat first, the dangerous fat around your organs. Studies from Mayo Clinic show visceral fat burns 2-3 times faster than the fat you see on your stomach. So even if your belly doesn't look different yet, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. Blood sugar stabilizes, inflammation drops. Your body is making health changes before aesthetic changes. Week 4, belly fat starts getting the message. By the 4th week, your hormones begin stabilizing. Insulin stays lower for longer, cortisol levels become more predictable, and your metabolism starts trusting the new routine. This is when your body finally becomes willing to access subcutaneous belly fat, the stuff you can pinch. Most people report early visual changes around week 4. A slightly tighter waistline, less puffiness in the lower belly, clothes fitting differently, better morning energy. It's not dramatic, but it's real. This is the turning point where consistency starts paying off visually, not just biologically. So, what's the big picture of month 1? Your body isn't ignoring your effort, it's reorganizing its entire energy system. Week by week, hormonal signals shift from store fat to release fat, and your belly finally begins to respond near the end of the first month. This is the foundation for the major changes that happen in the months ahead. What happens to your belly fat after the first month? If the first month is your metabolism testing whether you're serious, the next 11 months are your metabolism slowly becoming your teammate instead of your enemy. Belly fat is stubborn, but it is not invincible. Long-term research across major health institutions shows that real belly fat change follows a biological timeline, and once your body adapts, the process becomes smoother than most people expect. Month 2, the real belly fat shift begins. By the 2nd month, your body finally accepts that this calorie reduction is not a 2-day emotional decision, but an actual routine. Insulin levels stay lower for longer portions of the day, and this is huge. Multiple studies from Stanford University and the American Diabetes Association show that lower, steady insulin allows your body to use stored fat significantly more efficiently. You might feel your stomach becoming less firm or less full, which many people misinterpret as bloating changes. It's not. It's the beginning of increased fat usage. This month, most people notice fewer spikes in hunger, fewer fading energy moments in the afternoon, and more predictable appetite patterns. Short-term wins continue: better mornings, lighter digestion, and more control around food. And even though the mirror changes slowly, internally your body is becoming more willing to access belly fat as fuel. Month 3, the hormone rebalance month. The 3rd month is often described as the everything feels smoother month, and science supports this. Harvard Health reports that 3 months of consistent dieting and moderate exercise improve the body's response to insulin and reduce the intensity of cortisol swings, the very stress hormone associated with stubborn belly fat. You might notice your sleep improving. That is not a coincidence. Research from the National Sleep Foundation shows that better sleep reduces cortisol production during the day, giving your body fewer reasons to store belly fat. Mood steadiness improves too because your blood sugar is no longer bouncing up and down like a teenager's emotions. This month, your belly finally begins shrinking in a clearer, more predictable way. Not fast, but unmistakably steady. This is also when your clothes start fitting differently, especially around the waist and lower abdomen. Month 4 to month 6, the visible transformation window. Months 4 through 6 are where real, noticeable change shows up in the mirror. Not just subtle shifts, actual visible progress. According to data from the National Weight Control Registry, people who stay consistent for 4 to 6 months often show the biggest drop in waist measurements, even when the scale moves slowly. Your metabolism becomes more flexible now, meaning it switches between carb burning and fat burning without complaining. The Cleveland Clinic notes that metabolic flexibility is one of the strongest markers of long-term fat loss success, especially around the belly. Your hunger levels stabilize. You recover faster from workouts. Afternoon crashes become rare. And for the first time, you may wake up, look in the mirror, and see your stomach looking flatter even before eating anything. This is also when the stubborn lower belly starts responding. It doesn't disappear, but it softens, reduces in volume, and becomes less puffy. People around you might even comment that you look different, because you do. Month 6 to month 9, the momentum phase. Months 6 to 9 are where fat loss becomes more efficient than ever. You are no longer fighting biology, you are riding it. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that after 6 months of consistent calorie control, the body becomes significantly better at burning fat even during rest and light daily movement. This is why some people drop inches from their waist even though the scale barely moves. You might maintain the same weight but look completely different. That is the effect of fat loss combined with preserved lean muscle, a combination every expert considers ideal. Stress levels often drop during this period because your habits are stable. Lower stress equals lower cortisol equals less belly fat storage. Even digestion improves because inflammation continues decreasing as your body becomes healthier internally. This period feels rewarding because everything works together instead of against you. Month 9 to month 12, the long-term reset. The final stretch, months 9 through 12, is where your entire metabolic identity rewrites itself. After nearly a year of consistent habits, the body forms a new baseline, something scientists often call metabolic memory. Simply put, your body becomes naturally better at processing food, storing less fat, and keeping your waistline in check. Long-term studies from the American Heart Association show that people who maintain calorie awareness for 9 to 12 months experience lower inflammation levels, improved insulin sensitivity, more stable cortisol patterns, a significant reduction in abdominal fat. Your belly becomes not just smaller but more stable. You are less prone to bloating. Hunger feels logical, not chaotic. Cravings lose their intensity because your brain is no longer stuck in reward-seeking mode. Most importantly, this stage makes the results feel permanent. Your body is no longer dieting, it is adapted to a healthier way of living that naturally discourages belly fat from returning. You've just seen what actually happens to your belly fat over weeks and months, and now you know it's not stubborn because you're failing, it's stubborn because your biology takes time. But once your body finally shifts, the results compound faster than you expect. So don't quit 3 weeks in when your breakthrough might be waiting at week 6 or month 3. Your health deserves more than a short attempt. It deserves consistency long enough for your body to trust you. If you stay steady, your waistline will follow. And if you've already started, today is the perfect moment to keep going. Tell me in the comments which stage you're currently in. I'd love to hear your experience. Hit like if this helped you understand your body better. Subscribe for more science-backed breakdowns just like this. And thank you for watching. You're building a healthier version of yourself, and it truly matters.